The last topic of today's current affairs is a progressive Indian policy on Myanmar outlined. The elected civilian government in February 2021 was overthrown by military in Myanmar. Now it is 3 years. Leads to kill, maim and displace own people. The civilian government, the government which was elected by the people, is being overthrown by the military of Myanmar before 3 years. Now it is 3 years. Since it is 3 years from February 2021 till now. So India also accepted with this regime where 5,000 people killed and 2.5 million people displaced so far. Indian foreign policy scholars has defended this policy and said India needs to work with junta, which is military officers who rule a country after seizing its power. If it has to protect its interest in Myanmar, that is India's interest should be protected in Myanmar's case. So how India can step out of China's shadow? It is possible for India to put in place a more progressive value driven Myanmar policy that works in favor and not against its national interest. New policy should have two pivotal keys. What are they? India needs to use its credentials as the largest federal democracy. India is the largest federal democracy, we all know. And in the region to sharpen its influence in Myanmar. So Myanmar already took India as a model for federal democratic union. The power sharing. The meaning of federal democratic is the power sharing between the center and the state. Myanmar also wanted to adapt it. So in Myanmar at present there is a democratic resistance because of the military power. So led by UNUG, National Unity Government, which was ethnic revolutionary organization, civil society organization and trade unions, to replace all these by military drafted 2008 constitution with federal constitution. To achieve capacity building and knowledge exchange program, India can distinguish itself from China. How it can distinguish it from China? So by China is the regional competitor for India. So Beijing and Delhi can sell military hardware to Myanmar, but only India can sell spirit of federal cooperation. By this, new Indian government can outmaneuver the Chinese in own backyard. By the federal democracy, the India can get over and compete with the China and get over to Myanmar by this federal cooperation. So second is India to halt. How India can get into Myanmar? So the second point is India to halt all weapon sales to Myanmar military. It should stop the weapon sales. India should stop the weapon sales to the military of Myanmar. According to JFM, Justice for Myanmar, has said India sold non-lethal and semi-lethal equipment to junta since 2021. For the military, India has sold the non-lethal and semi-lethal equipment from 2021. So Myanmar claims India sold more than $1.5 million worth Navy grade diesel to junta. So it should stop. India should stop giving the weapons to the military. Third, India needs to immediately open cross-border humanitarian corridors. Where India is not giving more accommodation to the refugees of Myanmar, The third reform, it can be a reform also. The third is the cross border humanitarian corridors to help civilians in the border provinces. So, the border provinces are Sagaing region, Chin state, northern Rakhine state. According to UNOCHA data, United Nations Office for Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs is the full form of UNOCHA. Sagaing region is the largest where people being displaced from Myanmar since March 2024. So New Delhi to revoke its plan to fence between Myanmar and India, where Myanmar and India, without fencing, it shares the border around 1500 kilometer. So it should be fenced. To stop, why it should be fenced? To stop the free movement of people from Myanmar to India. It was also adapted by the ministry by February 2024. India also should aid emergency relief assistance like medicines, food, and tarpaulin. Already Mizoram is doing this, so it is a good start. So this would be for India. It is an advantage from the Myanmar government. Myanmar will help us if India is in any danger like border issues where China is likely to occupy Indian territories. So the fourth is Modi government should halt detention and deportation of asylum seekers from Myanmar. So the Modi government, the current government is Modi's government, and the one who asks help from the people, one who is from Myanmar, India should give accommodation, regardless of the fact that India has not ratified the 1951 Refugee Convention. It is the government's responsibility to treat refugee with humanitarian assistance and protection, or not as an illegal migrant, as per 1951 Refugees Convention. So the last is Indian Constitution and international law allows Indian state to do so. No restriction. India also has the right to do on its own interest, and the international law also allows this. So India Vishwa Bandhu, which claims the stand with people of Myanmar is Vishwa Bandhu. So it should now walk the talk. As it said, it should do it.